Okay, good afternoon and welcome to Masai, a place where you learn to earn pay only when you get hired. As part of the holistic development process at Masai School, you all go through a program called Skillathon, where we invest 100 hours during the entire journey at Masai School to build your skill set, tool set, and mindset so that you become a competent programmer. Uh, as you have always said that if the best utilization of Skillathon, which is a journey, is to participate and engage, take notes as you move along the session, create individual action plan. In that, three things always you should cover. What are the things I want to start doing immediately? What are the things basis the concepts, basis some best practices shared, I must stop doing in order to move that happening? And what is it that I continue to do? Any change requires all three elements, and that's what we focus on that so that the change will happen and capability building takes place. The objective of Skillathon is to build your capability. Friends, if you remember that we started the journey of effective communication probably after breathing, the second important activity, the maximum activity that a human being does is to communicate. There are four large buckets that we need to do: listen effectively, speak effectively, read effectively, and write effectively. We've given you some input, some framework. The best thing that can happen is deliberate practice, consistent practice, and you can keep on improving, keep on improving. There is no limit to which you can improve. So, as part of speaking effectively today, I want to cover an important topic, which is assertive communication. Right. So let's look at it. As I keep telling that whenever you are in a journey of a skillathon, make sure you remember this quote: "Little things don't mean a lot; they mean everything." So little things done nicely every time that you do, you will see the substantial amount of progress that you can make. As Brain Tracy said that through learning and application of what you learn, you can solve any problem, overcome any obstacle, and achieve any goal that you set for yourself. I'm sure all of you have set goals to become a full stack developer, a competent developer, get onto that aspiring salary and job. It is definitely possible only through learning and application of what you learn. So many individuals, what they do, they learn and they don't apply. And if you don't apply, it doesn't become a habit. And great careers are built on good habits. So let's build a habit, and it is a journey. So welcome to this important topic today. It's on assertive communication, wherein which we learn this art and science of assertive communication that helps us to create the necessary impact. So let's just step back what we have covered so far. If you remember, what did we define communication? Communication is nothing but passing of meaningful messages between the people. And the purpose of communication is simple: to create an action or a reaction in the required direction. Right? Shubham communicates with his line manager because he wants to create an action, or he's reacting to whatever he has received as an input. And we also saw that in the previous weeks. Whenever we communicate, what we try to do is to connect. There are three possible connects: intellectual connect, emotional connect, and the persona connect. Unfortunately, what happens is we focus on only one connect, either a knowledge as a common denominator, and we connect to the other individuals largely on the intellectual front, or we get too emotional and we use our emotions to connect. Or some people use only their persona. It could be a voice, it could be ability to demonstrate enthusiasm, or through their body language. But all three elements are required if you want to connect, and that is where the influencing takes place. If you want to influence an individual, when I say influence, it's not in the negative way. Influence towards your thoughts, your ideas, towards your to your concepts, then it is important that we connect at all three levels: intellectual connect, emotional connect, and persona connect. I want you to ask the question: whenever you communicate, where are you dominant in? Can you please use your chat box and type to me, of the three connect, which is your dominant connect? Is it intellectual connect, emotion connect, or persona connect? When I say persona, it is largely to do with the way you use your voice, voice modulation, gestures, body language, the entire element. Emotional. Okay, I see a largely people are using emotional connect. It would have a limited impact. You need to use all three. Make sure that in your communication, you're able to use all three. Imagine that if I'm going to connect only on emotional, oh, you're all from tier 2, 3 cities. I know that you went to vernacular medium. Many of you don't know how to English. It's okay. It doesn't help you. I need to use a combination of all three. I need to use to say that why learning communication is important. How do you learn communication? What aspect of communication you go? That is the intellectual connect. I use the emotional bonding by the fact that I have been like that going to a vernacular medium, but today I'm able to learn. If I'm able to learn and demonstrate, you can also do. That's an emotional connect. Persona connect is the way I use my voice, body language, gestures, energy, enthusiasm to bring all this together is a persona connect. Are you able to understand, friends, what I'm talking here? Can you quickly tell? Yes. And it is not at all difficult. In 5 minutes, you will know if you watch a person very closely, where does he or she lacks? And using all the three is where you really create that impact that we need to do. Now, talking about the kinds of behavior that we exhibit, whenever we communicate, we also, in a way, exhibit behaviors. Now, I want to give you an example here. Let's say that it is in my previous organization. It was a very formal setup. All of us used to wear white shirt and a tie, and it used to be a consulting organization and a training organization, and we used to dress very formally. And a Saturday was a little, I would call it as a not actually a casual day. It is kind of a semi-formal day. Most of the people still would come. For you and me, would consider it as a formal, but in that business, it is considered as a semi-formal or a casual day. And let's say on that Saturday, I happen to wear a shirt which has got a lot of flowers on it. Okay, you know that the Goan shirt or the Hawaiian collection or the Caribbean collection. Are you able to imagine me in that shirt? With a lot of flowers and things like that. And I walk into that office on a Saturday morning with that shirt, and my colleague, senior colleague, looks at me and he says, "What a shirt! What a shirt!" And the way he says it is, "What a shirt!" Now, how do I react to this? Is where my behavior comes out through my communication. Now, I look at him and say, let's say he's my senior colleague, Bhushan, and I say, "Yeah, Bhushan, this shirt is being given by my father-in-law for last Diwali. Almost a year has gone by. My wife really saying that you never wear the presents given by my family. I didn't want to disappoint her, so I just wore it." Now, this is nothing but I will avoid conflicts at all costs. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 3 bags full. I cannot change anything, so why try? This is nothing but a passive behavior. A passive behavior. I'll give you a few more examples. On the other hand, I say, "Hey, look at your shirt." I say, "You're wearing a shirt as though it is 1960s Devanand style. Do you know what is this called? This is called as the floral prints, the Hawaiian collection. Do you recognize this brand here? It is called the CD, Charagdin. It's an exclusive shop in Kolaba, South Mumbai. In fact, today they are available on online, but I would suggest you to go to Kolaba and buy this shirt. You will also good anger. The way I say it is very aggressive. The way I look at my eye contact, my body language, my voice, choice of words. This is nothing but I believe action is more important than words. Offense is the best form of defense. It's an aggressive behavior. So I showed you passive, then I have shown you aggressive. But there is one more behavior that you can attempt. Same situation, I'll say, "Yeah, Bhushan, thank you for noticing my shirt. By the by, it is called as a Hawaiian collection, and this shirt is actually presented by my father-in-law, and I just wore it. And by the way, after today, I'm leaving my office early to catch up with my friends. They are my college mates from IIM, and we are catching them for an afternoon lunch and beer. I thought let us just relax and meet them. And I'm sure you should buy one of those. It'll look good on you, and your wardrobe will be more cheerful. Now, this is, I recognize my rights to be listened to, consulted with, and I believe others have the same right. It is assertive. I want you to understand this because many people don't realize that there is the best way called an assertive way. They only hear passive and aggressive. There is the one which works really good is an assertive communication. Now, let me give you another example so that you understand these three kinds of behavior. Let's say Manish Singh and Vishal Shekhawat are working in the same office. Is it okay? Can I take both of you as an example? Vishal and Manish Singh, after their course in Masai School, which is your dream company, Manish or Vishal, any one of you? Where do you want to work after doing the course in Masai School? Okay. Can I have the company name? Which company do you want to work? You know some of our partner company. We're going to work for Microsoft and Amazon. Why not? Now let's say Vishal is working in Amazon and Manish also is working in Amazon. And this is one morning at around 9:30. Vishal is extremely busy working on some projects, but they're good friends. They're working on it, and Manish says, "Chalo yaar, chai piyenge. Let's go and have a tea." But the background is Vishal has to complete a report and send it to his boss by 10 o'clock because they're waiting for an urgent uh, import. At around 10:30 is supposed to send, and the meeting is at 11 o'clock. That is the background of it. Now, let's imagine that Vishal is a passive guy. And what is likely to happen? Because Vishal is passive guy, Manish has said, "Chalo chai piyenge." He cannot say no, and he will go with Manish. Now, as he go, and his body language is so reluctant, his eye contact is not there, his steps are so slow, energy nahi hai. It looks as though somebody is pulling him. But he cannot say no to Manish. And he goes there, he's not enjoying the tea. His only worry is, how do I complete this and push it before 10:30? Now, this is passive. Aggressive, if Vishal was aggressive, and let's say Manish says, "Chalo chai piyenge" at 9:30, Vishal looks at him and he says, "पता नहीं यार लोग क्यों ऑफिस आते हैं चाय पीने के लिए, काम करने के लिए। अभी अभी शुरू किया, आप बोल रहे हो बाहर जाके चाय पिए, आधा घंटा वेस्ट हो जाएगा, मैं तो नहीं आ रहा हूँ, मुझे काम है." The voice, the body language, the choice of word is very aggressive, right? This is aggressive, but assertive. If I'm just taking you as an example here, if Vishal was assertive and he'll say, "Hey Manish, thank you for inviting for a tea. I want to have it, but I am working on a deadline and I need to push it by 10:15. Let me do this and then I will join you for a tea. In fact, I want to take you for a tea. There is a new shop across where he's going to serve you tea in Kullad and it is masala wala chai. Let's have it at 10:30. What do you say?" That is assertive. Friends, are you able to understand this passive, aggressive, and assertive? It's very important in life you understand this. I'll tell you what is the impact if you're passive, aggressive, and assertive, how life can get better. Okay, so with that context, let's move forward. What is assertive communication? Assertive communication is very simple. It's our ability to communicate our thoughts, views, and opinion clearly. Ability to communicate our thoughts, views, and opinion clearly, but having said that, without unduly hurting the feelings of others with a clear objective in mind. When I communicate, I don't want to hurt others unduly. By saying that, you may get hurt, but my intention is not to get hurt, but with a clear objective in mind. Right? Now, sometimes what happens, like let's say that you are into athletics and you are supposed to report at 6 a.m. In the stadium and you come at 6:15. What is the coach likely to do? What is the coach likely to do? You come at 6:10. You're supposed to be there at 6 o'clock. And if a coach is likely to say, "Hey, Kumar, go." No, a good coach will say, "Hey, Kumar, go 10 rounds, please." He will not scold. A good coach, he will say, "What's the time? I think you have to go for 10 rounds." That's it. That's all. 6 rounds, 5 rounds. Here I have communicated very clearly that you are late and I want to punish you, but with a clear objective in mind is to make you disciplined and make you fitter. Make you disciplined and make you fitter. And that is assertive communication. Now, if you look at it, assertive communication has got two P's. I will make it very easy for you. Please write down this in somewhere in a book or something. It becomes very easy. Assertive communication should have two P's. The first P is positive. The first P is positive. Your communication should be positive and your communication has a purpose. Now, if both the P's are there, it becomes an assertive communication. I'm giving you a formula. You're all coders. You're all very logical thinkers. So let me give you. But if it is not positive, it has got only purpose. Can you tell me what communication it is? Aggressive. Absolutely. It is aggressive. It is aggressive. If the communication is only positive and it does not have purpose, it is passive. Now, I've given you a formula. Ask yourself, what is your behavior when you communicate? The best way to do is assertive communication. Now, let's go and see what happens in the three behaviors. Now, a guy who is a passive behavior, tries to seek to please others at the expense of denying own rights. I want you to reflect. Huh? Some of us are passive, aggressive, and assertive. Ask yourself these questions: are they true? Some of us seldom let our true feelings show and often feel hurt and anxious. At the end, you feel bad about it. I've agreed to it, but I feel bad about it. They seldom achieve their own goals. Their voice is very hesitant, very weak, and expressed in monotone. Their eyes are usually downcast. And finally, they feel uncomfortable in interpersonal interaction. If you say yes to all of this, then it is passive. Now, the best thing is you can move from passive to assertive. I'm going to help you out. If you really work on it, you will move from this. I'm sure many of you have this, and I can identify this very easily in an interview. Now, aggressive, very simple. They defend their own rights even if it is required to violate others at any cost. Aggressive. They say what is in their mind even without thinking how it can impact others. मैं बोल दूंगा, जो होने का है होने दो. Express an air of superiority. Voices are loud, demanding, and no emotion. Increase power by dominating or humiliating others. Whereas assertive, what do? They stand up for their own rights. They stand up for their own rights. Feelings are expressed openly and honestly. Assume responsibility for their own choice and allow others to choose themselves. Treat others equally with human dignity. Voices are warm and expressive. It's warm but expressive. Eye contact is intermittent but direct. Now that is assertive. Self-confident and cordial relationship is there. Now let's move forward. Now, what happens? Why typically the words choices are like this? If people are passive, they use this phrase, would you mind if I? Would you mind if I? I wouldn't normally say this, but I'm going to say this. I don't mean to be rude, but I was thinking that if it was okay with you. You seek others people permission before you do things. It is a clear nature that you are passive. Aggressive, you must. Because I said so. You always, you never, you screwed this up. Assertive. You see the difference in the tonality, difference in the choice of word. Yes, that was a mistake. Let me explain why I disagree with this point. Please hear me out and then work with me to resolve my concern. Start using these phrases. Just copy these phrases. Yes, that was my mistake. Very difficult to say. Let me explain why I disagree with this point. Please hear me out and then work with me to resolve my concern. Let us define the issue and then explore some options to help resolve them. Assertive way. Right? So basically, this is what summons substance is. People who are passive, I am not okay, you are okay. Aggressive, opposite of that. I am okay, you are not okay. Assertive, I am okay, you are okay. We may have differences, we may have different interests, we may have different opinion, but let us work towards it. Let us first understand each other. Let us listen to each other. Let us express each other. Let us come out with alternate solutions. There is no one solution for everything. Let us look at pros, cons, and fixes. That is assertiveness. Okay, now let's look at it. The four key characteristics of assertiveness. You stand up for yourself without offending or hurting others. Expressing your needs and desires. Presenting yourself confidently and communicating effectively. ये चारों चीज चाहिए. I'm going to talk about how we can become assertive very easily. And this is, I'll tell you what are the advantages of assertive communication. Why assertive communication is extremely useful. First and foremost, it reduces stress. Now, today, one of the biggest stress is the way we communicate. If you are passive, the other guy will put complete pressure on you and get things done, and you feel stressed. And even when you are aggressive, at the end of that communication, the end of that, the aggressive method of talking or shouting, you feel stressed, right? You are not comfortable. Am I right, friends? Even when you're aggressive, at the end of this, अरे यार नहीं बोलने का था. You may not say it openly. I should have just ignored him. Why do I do that? See, when you are assertive, you can influence others. When you are passive, the other guy will influence you. When you are aggressive, you may attempt, but he may not execute it. At that moment, he may accept because of your aggressive nature, but really, he may not give an exceptional result. He'll only give acceptable result. So, if you want to influence others, move towards assertivity. The goal of being assertive is to solve a problem. Right? There is a problem, let's solve it. Let's discuss. Let's evolve solutions. And you must know one thing, friends, when you're working in projects, when you are working as a team, most important is to get information. And if you are assertive or aggressive, people will not share information. If you're assertive, they will give information, and with help information, you can move forward. The biggest currency today is information. Help invent more options. And it is a positive way of expressing no. The two most hated letters, the most hated word is no. Even a mother doesn't take a no from the child, right? The moment they say no, the mother feels, how can you say no to me? Nobody likes this word no. How do you express it is an assertive way of doing it. And if you're assertive, people will accept you in the team. Becoming a leader, chances are very high. And also, when you're assertive, let's say tomorrow that you're going to build team, you're going to have people reporting to you. Same thing will happen. You be very aggressive as a leader, you will never get the best out of team members. If you're very passive, people will take advantage of it. But when you're assertive, you can get the true potential of your subordinates. And I can go on and on. So you must be wondering, Yogesh, I've heard in my school days or college days, be aggressive, be aggressive. You are saying, be assertive. What is this dilemma? The dilemma is like this. Be aggressive in your efforts. Be aggressive in your result. But when you're dealing with people, be assertive. That's the most important element. Because you're dealing with people. When you deal with people, if you're passive, they will overtake you. If you're aggressive, it will be very abrasive. But when you're assertive, you're able to move. And one more thing, friends, you must also know that people who are passive, they can't be aggressive. People who are aggressive, they can't be passive. Sayena, I'm sure you have seen it at home. Your brother could be aggressive or your sister could be passive. They can't move to the other side. But when you are assertive, the beauty is when you are assertive, you can be deliberately passive, tactfully aggressive. It's like a pendulum. You can go on both the sides, but most of the time you are assertive. The very fact that most of the time you are assertive, people will accept that pendulum movement. So getting assertive is the next objective for all students in Masai School if you want to be truly move up in the ladder. I didn't do this module for other module because when you start your career, first is to build communication. Immediately, the next level is to build your assertive communication. So I'm giving you an additional inputs here so that you can become assertive in the way you deal with people. In this very real world, good doesn't drive out evil, evil doesn't drive out good, but energetic displays the passive. Now, it's a beautiful statement. So be energetic, be passionate about what you're doing. Look at both the sides, pros and cons. Then you see life becoming more useful. It may be somewhat frightening at first to take assertive stance. You will know it for the best as your self-esteem improves and you see positive outcome for your efforts to become assertive. I'm sure many of you are aggressive or assertive or passive in this cohort. And I'm asking you to come in my path of being assertive. Initially, it may be very frightening. You may say, no, it will not work. But you keep working on it and it becomes natural to you. And you will see that how powerful is this tool. And you go and see all great leaders. I had great privilege of working with some of very good managers and leaders, and they were very, very assertive. And at my previous organization, both at Daewoo and Honda, and even at Mercury, I had very, very assertive leaders with whom I worked. And when a leader is very assertive, you will want to give exceptional results, not acceptable results. And being assertive, it's a learnable skill, but it requires tremendous amount of practice and perseverance. It is not easy. Okay, so learning to become more assertive will transform your life and put you in a state of mind which will help you to navigate life's challenges. So life is all about a challenge. Don't expect life to be linear, life to be like a highway going from, I don't know which is the good highway. I think recently Delhi to Meerut was the talk about it. Anyone from Meerut here? Koi hai Meerut se? Is Adarsh from Meerut? Okay, have you seen that highway, Adarsh or Shubham? I heard there is a new highway opened, right? Yes, sir. How is that highway, Adarsh? 14 lane, unimaginable. Superb, right? I have been driving in Dubai for a long period of time. Abu Dhabi, I think even there I have not seen a 14 lane express highway. Imagine 14 lane, but life is not going to be like this. Life is going to be like driving in Mumbai or Bangalore, ups and downs, full of potholes, no entry, under construction, rude bikers and motorcyclists and motorists on the road, one way pedestrian jumping, signals not working, traffic misleading. That is how life is going to be like. So ability to navigate a life which is like this, which is of turns and twists and ups and downs, with speed breakers, etc. Becoming assertive will help you to navigate. Okay. Now I will send this exercise at the end of this session to know how assertive you are. There's a beautiful exercise to know how assertive you are. I will send this questionnaire, and there are certain questions that you will be able to ask, and then you decide. If you score less than 10, learning assertive behavior technique would boost your morale. More than 10, you're consistently assertive, you can get better at it. Okay. Now let's look at why some people are passive, why some people are aggressive, why some people are can be assertive. Is it in their DNA? Is it in their gene? Or is it because of the culture? Is it because of the school they went to? Is it because of the brothers and sisters you had? Or is it because of the home environment? Is it because the kind of movies that you watched when you grew up? Or is it because of the frame of mind that you are in? So let us look at why some people are passive. Some people are passive because there is a lot of insecurity in them and they feel low esteem. Friends, self esteem is very important in life. Self esteem, self belief, are very important. People who lack these two, they tend to underachieve, even though they are capable much beyond. Self esteem and self belief has to come internally, and you can develop it by looking at your motivators, right? So some people have low self esteem, that's why they are passive. Some people have a lot of fear of failure, fear of being ridiculed, fear of being judged, so they become passive. Make chup raho. Because if I say something, they may ridicule me, so I fear ridicule. I can't take it. Because of that, they become passive. The other reason why people are passive is they want to be accepted by everybody. Somebody said, right, I don't want to hurt others. The other way to look at it, I want to be accepted by everyone. So they become passive. Another one good reason why some people are passive is low level of knowledge and skills. Opposite also true for aggressive. I'll talk about it a little later. When your skills is low and knowledge is low, you tend to keep quiet because you will be exposed. So I keep quiet. Right? Now, there is one important study that you must understand why some people are passive is because of the experience during formative years. What do you mean by formative years? Now, psychologists and behavioral scientists are still discussing what is exactly the formative years. Some people are saying between 4 and 6. Some people are saying it is 6 and 10. Now, basis my own understanding is generally between 6 to 13 is a formative years. Now, what kind of environment that you grew, what kind of support that family gave you, what kind of books you read, what kind of movies you went, what kind of friends you had, what kind of society you lived in, all these will have an impact. And whatever you thought is right at that time, and if they don't correct you, the school doesn't correct you, the parents don't correct you, or the society doesn't correct you, you go in that direction, you become whatever that behavior. So it's a formative year, and it is absolutely true. Now, I'll tell you, two kids. I have two boys, right? My elder son now is 16, my youngest son is 13. I'm talking about almost 7 or 8 years back, this incident. Uh, I used to travel a lot in my previous job, 10, 12 days a day. I used to be outside Bangalore. Normally, I used to travel to Mumbai, Pune, Delhi, Chennai, Kolkata, then sometimes to other cities also. But largely, I used to travel here. And my routine was in the morning, I used to call home. And because at that time, everyone is available and they are about to go to a school. So my call is to be around 7:45 to 8. And that day morning, I saw in the newspaper a leopard has entered a school in Bangalore in a Whitefield area. I don't know how many of you remember this incident, which happened some 4 or 5 years back. A leopard had entered, maybe 6 years back, entered a school in Bangalore in Whitefield area. No, Whitefield is a little outskirt today. Whitefield is inside. There's a lot of forest area there. A leopard had entered. So I asked my elder son, at that time, what was he? Maybe he was in his fourth standard. Yeah, fourth or a fifth standard. I don't exactly remember. I asked Rahul, imagine that you are getting into a school, into your classroom, and in your classroom, the leopard is there. What are you going to do? He said, Dad, I'm just going to run inside that cupboard, my teacher's cupboard, and I will lock. And there is a keyhole. I'll keep looking at it. The moment leopard goes away, I will come out. Now, immediately after that, I asked my younger son, who's younger to him by 3 years. At that time, I think he was in first standard or second standard. I asked Rishabh, imagine you entering your class and there is a leopard there. And what would you do? He said, I'm going to open my teacher's drawer. There is going to be a scissor I'm going to take and I'm going to kill the leopard. Exactly this is. My elder son is passive. My younger son is aggressive. Now, you may ask me, in the same household environment, how two boys are different because the way they perceive information, the way they are being nurtured in their minds, and the way the friend circle is also there, the school they go into it, the bus they go into it, the cartoons that they watch. This is the formative years. Most likely, my elder son will continue to be passive. Maybe if he understands, he can become assertive. My younger son is going to be aggressive. If he learns that, he can be assertive. Both can't be the other way around. Does this example resonate with you? Why some of you are passive? Why some of you are aggressive? Because of that formative years. If you go back and you would have seen that the society that you came up, the family in which you live, the cousins, the brothers, the sisters, the movies, the area, the neighborhood, the locality that you came, the mohalla you came in, all these are formative years. Okay, so let's move forward. Cynicism. Now, there are some set of people who are, they are always into, Are yaar, nothing will change. Jo hone ka hai, hone do. Now, these guys will always be passive. No zest for life. Now, let's say Adarsh ask Manish. Adarsh and Manish are in the same office. And they say, I'm just taking examples. So please allow me just to make you understand this concept. Adarsh says, hey, Manish, chalo, aaj picture chale sham pe. And Manish says, if you want, I will come. No zest for life. This is what happens, right? Some people make this kind of statements. Now, let's look at why people are aggressive. Insecurity. Now, and they also believe bitterness. How did he get better than me? No, I helped him. I told him about this course. He joined me because of me. He's getting better than me. Bitterness. So I have to be aggressive. Low respect for others or arrogance or overconfidence. What's the difference between the two? Arrogance is I can do anything. I can never fail. Arrogance. Overconfidence means I already know. I have the requisite knowledge and skills. I will clear that paper. Overconfidence. Arrogance is I can never fail. Overconfidence, even without that knowledge and skill, you think that you can crack that. Many a times what happens, I'll give you an example of this, lack of failure. For many people, life is very well curated. No, he's been a decent in his knowledge and skill. He goes to a good school, good environment at home. He goes to a good college. He gets into whatever the field he wants. Because the college had a good placement record, good companies came in. The companies absorbed him. He went into, because the companies are also doing well, he's also doing well. So he has never had failure in his life. Now suddenly, because of this, and he feels all because of me. I know for sure, people who graduated in early 2000, they got very easily jobs. Sorry to say this. Because the economy was booming. Economy was booming. When economy is booming, the demand is more, supply is less. It is a normal tendency to people being aggressive. And I'm telling you all again, today you guys are at the advantage because of digital demand and supply is low. So that's why some of you are very aggressive in asking for the salary. But that will not be in the long run. In the long run, what can give you is your capability, right? So many of you are, I gave you an example the other day, right? What is wrong in CA? Do you think they don't have capability? Do you think they don't have grit? Do you think they don't put efforts? Even after 3-5 years of struggle, when 15% of the student only becomes chartered accountant, they get 6 lakh rupees is average pay. Why? Maybe because of the demand and supply, right? So what I'm trying to say is many a times we get aggressive because we have not had failures or success got easily. Lack of empathy, people make it aggressive. And many a times we are judgmental, strong bias, prejudices, all this make it as aggressive. Sorry, I'm talking about a topic which is common to all of us. So I take some day-to-day example because we have not realized it. And this will catch up. It caught up, right? If you look at testing as a field, was in a big demand. Everyone was getting to today. Look at testing. They don't have a career and they have spent so much of time that they are out. Automation is coming in. Imagine if they had built capability and they were humble and they were grounded and they knew that what I'm doing is small value addition in the entire value chain. I need to keep building my capability. They would have moved. Can you even think tomorrow if front end and back end gets automated? What will happen to full stack web development as a whole? Is it possible? Why not? Why not? The way the tech is changing, you never know. Already it is coming, right? Many people are able to create their own website without the help of web developer. Yeah, move to AI. That is the beauty, Kumar. Not all have realized that. They may not have the capability to learn AI. They encashed being in full stack web development, the demand, and they thought they are invisible. They went on asking more and more. They're thinking that they are the only set of folks in demand. They didn't realize that. They didn't realize that the tech is about to change. So why I'm saying this is always be humble. Have that humility. Ask yourself, what are you contributing? How much of value addition you're doing? The work environment can also make it very aggressive. You can go for data science, you can go for AI, you can go for moon, Gawate. Nobody is stopping you. But do you think everyone can learn that? Right? ML, kuch bhi aap le lo bhai. But it's not that. What happens when people are aggressive? They don't do continuous learning. They think this particular is in demand because of me. Nobody else can do this job. That is what goes into their mind. And that's where when the downfall happens. Okay, let's move forward on assertive. A lot of goodness and they are confident, and confidence comes from knowledge and also feeling of capability. Now, when the feeling of capability is there, there's a lot of assertiveness. Now, there are few people who demonstrate this. One is Mahendra Singh Dhoni. That feeling of capability. When he goes there, 50 runs to be scored in 5 overs, the way he walks in is actually Mahendra Singh is assertive. He gives respect to the bowlers. That is why the bowlers also respect him. The opponents also respect him. Feeling of capability was in Sachin Tendulkar. Feeling of capability is there in some of the players. Feeling of capability. Virat is aggressive. Age, with some age, you can be assertive, not necessarily. With age, not necessarily you gain these behavioral traits. Through training, can you be assertive? Very much. Rahul Dravid is very assertive. Anil Kumble is very assertive. Sanju Samson is still, we need to watch him, whether he's assertive or aggressive. Yesterday, he played in an innings. Similarly, even the last IPL, he played one innings, and after that, after 2-3 innings, he just went away. Absolutely. Coach, mentoring, self-book, video session, all this can help you to become assertive. Assertive can be learned. By knowing what is assertiveness, moving from passive to aggressive is going to be done. Now, what do we do to be assertive is a question. There are 3 things you must do. First and foremost, you must have confidence in others. The very fact assertiveness involves in dealing with people, first step is for you to show confidence in others. The second step is confidence in yourself, and you have to improve your skills. Confidence in others comes only when you trust. Go back to the same example of two colleagues, each one person calling for tea. Now, that mutual trust is very important. I must trust the other person, saying that his intention is right and I want to go and have a tea with him. But if he can give me some time, I'll finish this work and come. Trust also comes when there is a lot of warmthness. The way you say is very important. Hey Manish, thanks यार, आपने चाय के लिए बुलाया, मुझे अभी थोड़ा काम है. Can you give me 45 minutes of time? मैं इसको push कर देगा, उसके बाद मैं चाय पीने के लिए. And that warmthness should be genuine. It should not happen at 10:15 again. You'll say that, अरे यार और 40 मिनट दे दो, और एक काम आ गया, मैं इसको करके बाद में आऊँ. Then it is not genuine. And today, people can make out if there is no genuineness in an individual beyond once or twice this interaction. And there's a lot of empathy. Why is he calling me? Maybe he wants a company. Maybe he wants to discuss something. And unconditional positive regard. It should not be tit for tat. Only if he gives me this, I will give him that. Unconditional positive regard. Now, confidence in self comes from what? Feeling of self-worth. Nothing to prove. All assertive people know that my knowledge and skills is already there. I have nothing to prove. Past success can help you. Now, there are few things that you should improve if you want to become assertiveness in terms of skills. Ability to ask questions. Remember, we did a big topic on questioning skills. Ability to ask questions. The answer you seek lies in the question you ask. Active listening, we have covered it. Positive body language when you are saying that. You can't say that नहीं यार मैं अभी नहीं आ सकूंगा, मेरे बहुत काम है, मैं बाद में बात करूंगा. नहीं. Where is the body language? Where is the eye contact? It can't be that way, right? Maybe you say that, hey, thanks man for calling me, I can't come now, I just need to push this code, I'll come in 45 minutes time. Body language. Or if he says that नहीं यार उसके बाद में मेरा एक meeting है, if suppose that guy says, then you will ask him what time you are completing that meeting. I will be complete at 12 o'clock. Chalo, let's go at 12, or let's go. What are we going to do for lunch? Have you got lunch? I have not got lunch today. Chalo, let's go for lunch. We'll go for lunch at 1:15, 1:30. Ability to seek alternatives. So as I told you, friends, when you become assertive, deliberately passive, tactically aggressive. Be aggressive in achieving result, but be assertive in relationship, and there is no dichotomy. Can I get a quick confirmation? Yes, that you have understood what are the basic building blocks to be assertive. So henceforth, if they ask you, are you aggressive or are you passive? Tell them you want to be assertive. Remember the two P's, positive and purpose. Both the P's hai to you're assertive. Only positivity, no purpose, then you're passive. Only purpose and you're not positive, then you're aggressive. Okay, and I'll tell you, this is one skill that will help you to manage your relationships very well, both personal and professional relationship to a large extent. Otherwise, you will be felt that bitterness in there. Okay, just to wind it up, there are some characteristics I'm going to show you, assertive, verbal, and non-verbal. So verbal characteristics is relaxed voice. So make sure that you don't give out that aggressive tone. There should not be any hesitation in what you are saying. The voice should be very clear and willing to explore a solution and seeking others' opinion. These are all the verbal characteristics that you will have. Yes, Adarsh, go ahead, please. You have a question? Please go ahead. Yeah, please. You can unmute and ask.
Thank you, sir. I have a question. According if someone talking aggressive nature, and you are assertive nature, you are helping other and also doing something. Then what can you do for that people if he is aggressive in nature?
If a person is aggressive in nature, what you need to do is you must have an ability to bring him to neutral by asking questions and through your own body language, and you become assertive.
But sir, sometimes it will a little bit hard for that people because he's aggressive. So it will all take he's saying he's giving me challenge. Like he's saying, if you ask the question, Even he got angry sometimes.
Sure, let him get angry. Absolutely no problem. He has a right to do so. But you can calm him down through your body language and through your ability to ask questions. But if you also react in the same way, then it is not going to help.
Thank you.
You watch some good movies. You see some of the characteristics when they demonstrate assertiveness. They never shout. They can be very firm, but they never scream. They never shout. It's not going to help. Okay, so let's look at it. I think some of the answers are going to be coming up, Adarsh, in this. Now, non-verbal characteristics. Now, this is what will happen. When you are passive, your eye contact is very less. When you are aggressive, you're staring at him. It never drops. If you're assertive, it has to be intermittent. If the guy is aggressive, and one thing is for sure, is eye contact will never drop. And so what you need to do is have an intermittent eye contact to neutralize it. The second one is the tone. When a guy is passive, it is too soft. When a guy is aggressive, it is too loud and it is very annoying. When you're assertive, it is an effective tone with modulation. Probably you can say, "Hey, Hadarsh, why are you so angry with me? What happened? Please explain." The way you say it, smile in your face with the true intention of a positive regard, warmthness, genuineness, bound to even handle the worst of people who are aggressive. If your interest is genuine, okay? Now, non-verbal characteristics, posture. What this guy does is he folds himself, he fidgets, he chews, right? You see that people who are passive, they'll do all this a lot. They'll keep biting their lips, grinding their teeth, chewing, removing their nails. All these are passive characters. Aggressive, confront, stand up. Kya bol rahe ho? Aa jao. No, the way they come up is all about aggressiveness. Assertive, stand tall, erect, but with ease. Stand tall, erect, but with ease. Let's move other one. Space. People who are passive, they are withdrawn. They don't come close at all. You see in a group, people who are passive, they don't be in the group. They stand apart. People who are aggressive, very close, almost touching. People who are assertive, appropriate distance. Timing is also very important. I've already covered to you the listening and the other part. Okay, so 10 way to be assertiveness, just a summary. Be decisive. Take responsibility for your actions. Say no when needed. Attentive listener. Communicate clearly. Say yes when needed to. Ask for what you want in the right way. Follow your intuition. Feel free to take a chance and stand up for yourself. Assertiveness will help you in a very, very, very big way in improving your overall effectiveness in communication and at work. There are few things you must stop doing and few things you must start doing. I will share this entire list on the Slack channel. It can be used as a reference card. So what are the things I must stop doing? What are the things I must start doing if I want to be assertive in nature? So as I keep saying, one good idea implemented is better than 10 good ideas not implemented. So please implement whatever you have learned. I have taught you an important skill and a behavior called assertiveness. If you're able to imbibe this, and you guys are very young, I didn't even know this word called assertiveness maybe until I was in 30s. And nobody explained to me. I always thought there are only two things, passive or aggressive. I never knew there was something called assertive tha. Or even if I've heard that word, I have misunderstood. Only when in my 30s I came across this, but over the last so many years, I've understood that being assertive has immense dividends for both for you and for the individual with whom you're interacting, the organization that you're working. Generally, assertiveness helps all of us. So again, to end, little things don't mean a lot. They mean everything. So I wish you good luck for the unit evaluation. And already the utter evaluation has got completed. Some of you have missed. People who have missed it, write to me. I will find a way out. Ideally, I don't want to do it again, but we will figure it out. Was it a real reason that you had some challenges or whatever it is? People who have not completed, write to me that you could not attend the utter evaluation. Okay. Now, for a very long period of time, I've told this story before, but I want to tell you again. The man was trying to beat a record of running a mile in less than 4 minutes. That means 1,600 meters in less than 4 minutes. The Greeks gave the tiger milk so that thinking that their athletes can become stronger and they can run faster. The Romans let loose the lion, thinking that fearing for life, these athletes will run faster. They were not able to break the record of running a mile in less than 4 minutes. Early 20th century, the doctors said the human bones are not strong enough to beat that record. But in 1970, this guy called Roger Bannister broke the record. He ran a mile in less than 4 minutes. So a reporter went to him and he asked, Roger, how did you do it? For centuries, people are saying it is not possible. All he said was the distance is nothing. It is the first step that is difficult. Many a times in this entire Skillathon series or even the journey in Masai School, many of you don't do what is required because you don't take the first step. Always the first step is difficult. And people who have taken the first step, subsequent steps happen, and then you'll be able to achieve this. Okay, so that was my input on the entire assertiveness. So that completes the phase 1 of Skillathon. I wish you good luck.